Good morning students. Welcome back to the science class. We have finished with chapter sound and we shall begin with a new chapter today, chemical effect of electric current. In the previous classes also we have studied about electricity. Like in class 6 we got an introduction how electric current flows through a circuit. Then in class 7th we have learnt about heating effect of electric current and magnetic effect of electric current. How electric current generates magnetism, that we have seen the working of electromagnet and the uses of electromagnet we have discussed in class 7th. We have also studied about MCB, fuse and their uses. Now in both the classes we have discussed two very important terms, conductors and insulators. What are conductors? The materials that allow electric current to flow through them. Materials that allow electric current to flow. Now while writing the examples, we were giving examples of like metals, and in metals also very good conductors are silver, copper, aluminium, etc. Right? And among insulators, insulators are just opposite of conductors. Materials that do not conduct electricity. Materials that do not conduct electricity, or they don't allow electric current to pass through them. And in that you have plastic, wood, rubber and so on. Now, a question arises whether liquids also can conduct electricity. Can liquids be also classified as conductors or insulators? The answer is yes. Liquids also can, some of the liquids can conduct electricity and some of them cannot. But the process of conducting electricity in solids and liquids is little bit different. The solids, they conduct electricity with the help of free electrons. These free electrons are very abundant in metals. Metals have free electrons which carry the electric current with them. You know that all substances are made up of atoms. All matter is made up of atoms, whether it is solid, liquid or gas. The basic building block is the atom. Now these atoms also carry positive and negative components. Positive component of atom is called proton and negative component is called electron. Now these electrons are basically responsible for conducting the electric current in solids. Whereas in liquids, this generation of electric charge, or you can say the conduction of electric charge, is because of presence of ions. Now let us see what are ions. Suppose we have sodium Na. Sodium atom is there with us. Okay, sodium is a metal, a very reactive metal, as we have studied in chapter number 4. So I can represent sodium in the picture form like this. Sodium has 11 proton in the nucleus, 11 neutrons. These neutrons are neutral particles, they don't carry any charge, and the electrons, they revolve around the nucleus. Okay, you will learn why I am arranging this in a particular way in your senior classes. There are 11 electrons. Also, the number of electrons and protons in a neutral atom is all you can say first orbit. Second orbit contains 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 electrons. How many total now? 10. So we need one more orbit. For that it is 1 electron. Now this 1 electron is quite far away from the proton. So the attraction between the proton and electron is very less. And because of that, this electron can be easily given away or it can be easily lost. Right? Now, when sodium loses this 1 electron, the number of electrons is now 10 and number of protons still remains 11. So there is one positive charge making sodium as sodium ion Na+. Okay, so ions may be positive, and how ions can be negative we can understand with the example of chlorine. In chlorine we have 17 proton and 17 electron. But when chlorine gains 1 electron, it becomes 18 electron and 17 proton. So chlorine becomes Cl minus. So ions may be positive or negative. These ions, they conduct the electric current in liquids. Now the question is whether all liquids conduct electric current or not. Like solids, in liquids also there are certain conductors and certain insulators. Like distilled water, the number of ions in distilled water is very less, which is not sufficient enough to conduct the electric current. That is why distilled water is a poor conductor, or we can call it insulator. But on the other hand, tap water, generally the water which we are using at home, is a good conductor because there are impurities of some sorts in that tap water which makes this tap water a good conductor of electricity. And that is why we should not touch any electrical appliance with wet hands, or we should not try to put out the electric fire with the help of water, because it may electrocute us. Then other conductors are conducting liquids like acids and bases. They are good conductors of electricity, because when acids and bases dissolve in water, they form positive and negative ions, and those positive and negative ions help in conducting electricity. Then lime water, lemon juice, salt solution, these are also very good conductors of electricity. But petrol, sugar solution and other organic liquids, they are poor conductors of electricity. Now sometimes the current which is carried by these liquids may be very less, or it may not be detected by just making a circuit with the help of a bulb. The bulb may not glow. So for detecting such weak current, we use tester. Tester is like a small screwdriver in which when you put the tester in that conducting liquid, if current is on, then there will be a small LED glowing in it. Then magnetic compass also can be used for detecting small electric current. As you know that when current is passing through, then the magnetic compass will show deflection. So with the help of that deflection, we can come to know that current is passing through it. So children, this was just the introduction of the chapter today. We have learned revised in fact about conductors and insulators, and we have learned that electric current can also be conducted by liquids. It can also be liquids also can be conductors and insulators. and which liquids are conductors and which liquids are insulators, that also we have seen, and we have seen how ions are formed. And special name is given to these ions. Positive ions are called cations or cations. Okay, and negative ions are called anions or anions. So I hope this video will help you to understand the topic. In case of any doubt, feel free to contact me and read the chapter. I have also posted the notes in your pocket study. Just go through those notes and write down in your copy. Thank you.